companions, we settled into our new camp very nicely. It was a pleasant camp. It was in this nice thicket where we were protected from the sun, as I've said, and it had an open area around where I had a view and I could watch the sunset. But Manjolo wasn't feeling well these days, and I had to go on most of the walks by myself, which was not a disadvantage because Manjolo was not much of an asset in the veld to me, and I enjoyed the time being alone for a change. Now, on my second walk, I got double lucky. First, I spotted a leopard. Now, spotting a leopard in the veld is lucky. Leopards are very furtive, secretive. They're shy. They operate mainly during the night. And during the day, they lie up. If you spot one on foot, you're even more lucky. But apart from that, I was lucky because leopards are probably my favorite African savanna predator. Leopards are around half the weight of a lion, but it is said that they are the most powerful animal, pound for pound. Now, there is no reliable data set comparing the strength of different animals. But if you've ever tried to pick up a full-grown impala ram with its intestines still inside, or a young zebra or a young wildebeest, you will know what enormous strength it takes to pull any of those animals straight up the smooth trunk of a tree for 3, 4, 5 meters. Leopards are quite intelligent animals, and they rely very heavily on speed and agility for their hunting. They are stalkers, and they have to be extremely athletic and quick to be able to get their prey. So they avoid injury when they can. So they will decline any confrontation where there's a risk where they could get injured. And therefore, hyenas sometimes chase them off their prey. But the full-grown male, in his prime, he's not going to be intimidated by one hyena. He may even take on a hyena on its own prey. Leopards are reclusive, but they're very adaptable. They tend to be found right on the edges of modern society in suburbia. And they prey there on the odd animal they can find, but also on domestic animals and fowl and so on. But the people living there are hardly ever aware of their presence because they are so secretive and they move around at night, and they're extremely stealthy and well camouflaged. They have acquired a bit of a reputation for a problem animal. Now, if one takes the view of the person that's losing the animal, that's a valid classification. But if you take the meta view, it's actually us that are the problem animals, modern humans that are encroaching on the habitat of the leopard. In fact, destroying its whole habitat and way of life. And it has to adapt. So it's a very debatable point, which is the problem animal. Anyway, I'm sure you know a lot about leopards, maybe more than me, and you can tell me something about them that I didn't know. But let me tell you a little bit of what I do know about them. They are the masters of stealth. If you have ever seen one of them stalking prey, it's like a snake gliding over the earth. It is just incredible to observe the smooth elegance with which it stalks. Then, when it explodes into its charge, it's quick as the strike of a cobra. And it kills very efficiently, very quickly. Now, leopards like fairly wooded savanna. They can survive in open savanna, but they prefer wooded savanna where they have cover because they're stalkers. And they like larger trees where they can climb into and use as a lookout, and of course where they can pull their prey into to protect it against other predators like lions and hyenas. Although I have to say that I have seen lions actually climb quite a difficult tree to get to a leopard's prey. But normally, the prey is safe up in a tree. The lion is often not even aware of it, walking under the tree. Leopards normally prey on smaller game, like impala, reedbuck. They like baboka and steenbuck and so on, that category. The leopard will also take young zebra, young wildebeest. They will also eat birds, guinea fowl, and monitor lizards, even snakes, and they will eat fish. When the waterholes start drying out, they will take some fish from the slush, especially barbel. They can survive quite well on the moisture they get from their prey, but they prefer to be closer to water, and they do visit waterholes. They are solitary except when they're mating, and you will sometimes find a pair that looks like a pair, but that isn't. It's just a female with a larger cub that's probably about to be chased off. The females, their territories will overlap with those of more than one male sometimes. And of course, she may mate with more than one male in a period of oestrus. And these territories are aggressively defended by whoever the occupant is. Leopards are peaceful, but if you threaten them or confront them or corner them, they can be vicious. And their charge is incredibly quick, and it is determined. There is no turning back, like maybe with an elephant or a lion. They more like a black rhino or a buffalo. When they come, and they come quick, and they come seriously. It's usually a very bad outcome for the person that they aim at. It's always dangerous to walk around alone in the wilderness in the dark, but in leopard country, one should avoid moving around. I know of only 2 occasions when a leopard came into a camp and attacked a human. In the one case, tent flap was left open and the leopard grabbed the woman's foot. And it was a very sad story because I think she eventually lost the foot. On the other occasion, a leopard came into the camp and seriously went for the people inside a roof tent on top of a vehicle. They were not injured, but it was a very traumatic experience, as you can imagine. But this was, I think, a young leopard, as far as I could gather from the facts, and maybe shortly after being chased away by its mother, it was struggling. It was desperate for food. But that kind of thing can happen any time in the wilderness. Wild animals are unpredictable. One should never try and make rules for wild animals. They can't read, so one should be careful with wild animals. Companions, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of trivia about leopards. I hope you'll join me again next week. Good luck.